Welcome to the WLAQ Community Spotlight, where we highlight the wonderful organizations and people that make the Rome community a great place to call home. Here's today's host.
Well, hello, I am Elizabeth Davis, and I got a co-host today, my brother Matt Davis, and we got a special guest in the studio. His name is Jim Alred, and he is the Recreation Services Manager for Rome-Floyd Parks and Recreation. And he's here today to talk about the Rink at Ridge Ferry Park, now open for business throughout the holiday season. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
Oh, thanks for having me. And this is funny because it's a flashback to almost 15 years ago when I had a video production studio at the Rome News Tribune in another life. So it's nice to see y'all doing this, and it's a great service y'all are doing for the Rome community.
Well, we're excited to be here, and we're excited to have you here. And so the Rink at Ridge Ferry Park officially opened on November 20th. You've been open for a couple of weeks now.
Yes.
How's it going?
Well, it is going quite good. I reached out to the head guy over there from Atlanta Special Events, who's actually running the rink. We're doing a partnership with them. I asked him, okay, what's our attendance look like? I knew it was good, and he said we have had more than 10,000 people come ice skate in 2 weeks of the rink being open. So that's really phenomenal numbers. We've heard lots of good things, of course. It's one of those things to where I'm sure there's still people out here going, wait a second, there's ice skating in Rome. We've been marketing the heck out of this for a long time, but there's always going to be someone who's, I never heard about that. Well, you get another chance to hear about it here. It is at Ridge Ferry Park. It is an ice skating rink. It is a covered ice skating rink, which means rain or shine, which came into effect this past weekend because guess what? It was raining. You know what? Don't bother us at all because we got a covered rink. And of course, everybody will say, well, it's not cold enough for ice skating. You're right. It's not. We have 3 industrial strength chillers over there to make the ice. And one of the things, I am not an ice skating aficionado. I can skate a little bit. My wife's a lot better skater than I am. She will even tell you that. But what I can tell you is even when the rink the outside temperature was getting up to 65 to 70 degrees when they were making the ice, you put your hand on that ice, there's no water on it. It looks good. Their Atlanta Event Specialist has been doing this for 10 plus years down in the Canton area, and they know what they're doing. The rink, the ice is very good. And, we're just very excited about it because, we knew it was such a big hit at the Forum back several years ago. And, of course, COVID ate that alive as it ate so many other things. And then, of course, the Forum changed hands. And that was one of our big things. My boss, Todd Wofford, RFPRA director, kind of, ran into these guys because they were doing it in Cartersville last year and mentioned, hey, you should come to Rome. And then we got together with them and were able to really work some things out. Try to get it downtown, but that just didn't work out. But, of course, Ridge Ferry Park, we have a giant location. Concrete pad right there in front of the Coca-Cola stage. And it's like, hey, it's just a natural for that. So we signed all the necessary stuff, got them out there, and it's just been, it's been a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun because we've seen everybody get excited about it. They're doing field trips during the weeks when schools are open. In fact, I think we had a special needs field trip today. I don't think we have any tomorrow, but then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they're covered up with field trips in the morning. So it gives kids a chance, if their schools want to come out and do that. We don't have many field trip slots open, but if you are at a school and would like a field trip spot, you can go to rfpra.com/ice skating and find out more info or who to contact about that. But then again, the hours too, or I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep, I'm going to keep on talking.
When you talk about these kids, these sessions for the field trips, what about parties? Can people
there
call
are
to
parties,
have a party?
Yes, you can also do parties there. That's another question. You probably just need to reach out about that so they can book those for you. We don't book them. We kind of hand them over to Atlanta Event Specialists since they're the ones running that infrastructure part of it. But I will say that it's been a lot of fun seeing the excitement on the people's faces as they come to ice skate. And then obviously social media, it's very rare. And of course, y'all know this as much as anybody does, that when you put something on social media, you don't get like the negative people and whatnot. But we have it, and it's not 100% positive by any stretch of the imagination. There's always somebody going, hey, you know what? That ice is going to melt because it's going to be 80 degrees tomorrow. It's like, well, no, we have 3 chillers, bud. It's like we didn't just put water and expect it to freeze in Rome, Georgia. I mean,
I have no idea what you're talking about with the internet because it's been perfectly quiet the last couple of days.
Oh yeah,
anybody upset about anything?
Yeah. Just talk about the FSU fans. I'm sure they're not upset at all right now.
So let's talk about ice skating some more.
Certainly.
Let's talk about those hours.
Yes.
What hours are they
right
ice skating
now?
right?
And of course, the great thing about this is if you go again to rfpra.com WLAQ.com/ice skating. We have the hours listed for every single day the rink is open. So this week, closed today. Monday, most Mondays are going to be closed. If the Monday is a holiday or if the kids are out of school, we will be open.
Okay.
So school's in session right now. So this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. we're open. Friday will be 4 to 10. I have to look at my notes because when school's out of session, it's different times. Saturday, it's going to be 11 a.m. to 9, and then Sunday will be noon to 8 p.m. It is $12 to skate for kids 10 and under. It is $14 for everyone else. And that is a case of, it's not just you get to skate right then, leave the armband on. That will last you the entire session. And
That's
the session is the whole day. So you go early, you skate a little bit, you think, oh, I'm a little tired and a little hungry. Now, we do have food trucks and concessions there, so you can just go out, get some food, chill out. Well, you may need to warm up instead of chill out at that point. Do that, and you can come back in and skate. Or drive away and then come back later in the day and skate. Nope, there's no admission to park, so you can park and do that. Parents, if your kids are skating, you don't have to pay to watch. Now, I will say it does get crowded in there. And because it is an enclosed tent. Now, if it's nice outside, they will open the sides of the tent. Obviously, they're not going to take the top of the tent off, but the sides sometimes will get open. Obviously, if it's cold and chilly and wet and rainy, they're not going to open the sides of the tent because no one wants that going in there.
Yeah.
But as far as once we get out of school, it's still a couple of weeks away, but that starts that week of Monday, December 18th. So kids are out of school. At least the city schools, I believe they're out that day. I think county might be a couple of days later. I don't know. My wife's a city school teacher, so I'm on her schedule, not the county school schedule. So Monday, December 18th, that week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, open 1 to 9 p.m. Saturday, noon to 10. Sunday, noon to 6. Awesome. And actually, that Sunday is actually Christmas Eve, so that's the reason the hours are a little bit shorter then. Christmas Day, open 4 to 9 p.m., and then Tuesday, then there's 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. And you don't have to write this down. You don't have to memorize it. rfpra.com/ice skating, as well as every Monday on our social media channels at Rome-Floyd Parks and Recreation, we put this graphic up there that says our days and hours Monday through Sunday that week. So
easy to keep up.
I mean,
with what
it's
you've got
multiple
going on.
places. And the number one question we get asked on every single post, even on the post when we tell them when we're open, is, hey, when are y'all open? What hour? Are y'all open at 3 p.m. on this day? I'm like, you can go to the website. You can come to social media. All you got to do is read the graphic. I'm assuming we can all read. If you're on the internet, maybe not. But with that. So, and then, those days, again, if school's out, we're open a little bit longer. When school's in, and of course, we will go all the way until MLK Day. That is Monday, January 15th. That will be our last day of skating. We'll be open from 1 to 9 that day, and that will be it for ice skating for this time. Now, we open on November 20th. We'll go all the way to January 15th. I believe we worked it out. I think it's 48 days.
That's a lot of days
ice
skating.
skating. So, and the crowds may go down. They may come once and go, oh, it was fun. But I already know, I'm talking to them, there are some people, he was telling me 2 or 3 skaters that are, I'm not saying not everybody's a legitimate skater, but these people can do twirls and stuff. If I try to do a twirl, I'm in the emergency room 5 minutes later. So, and they've been coming almost every day because quite honestly, there aren't that many places to skate near us.
Let me ask you this.
Certainly.
Because I know for a lot of the beginning skaters, they have specific skates that have 2 blades for the little kids, or they have little things to hold on to.
We do have the little things to hold on. They don't really have the 2-bladed skates, but they use more of like a hockey skate. Now, if you're, I don't want to get too technical. A figure skate blade is very thin. A hockey skate blade is a lot thicker. If you're not used to ice skating and not planning to go to the Olympics anytime soon in ice skating, you want hockey skates.
Okay.
Because you put me in figure skates and I'm like Frankenstein out there doing this. And of course, since we have video, when I do this on the radio, that doesn't work. But in this show, it does. But you put me on hockey skates, I'm still not good, but I'm not doing this the whole time. I can actually skate a little bit when that happens. And
I'm just thinking of the movie The Cutting Edge. Toe pick.
Yeah, exactly. And we're dating ourselves by saying that because that movie is a few days old. But I was actually thinking about that movie and Toe Pick the other day.
It came on TV the other day. I had a chance to watch it. It was so good.
Yeah, for those that haven't seen it, you got to watch it. The Cutting Edge. Honestly, I think it was B-list actors all the way through it, but it was very funny movie. Basically, it's a former hockey player ends up becoming a pairs figure skater, and hilarity ensues.
It's a good one. So we're talking about skating, and
Yes.
you've got and of course, this is your special offer for the holiday season this year. You've got some special activities going on for the holidays.
Certainly. Now, first off, we do have Santa coming on some days. He was actually out there on Sunday from 2 to 4. We will have Santa this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Also, for those familiar with us, the last forever and a day, we've been doing the candy cane hunt. It has been at the town green. Well, it only makes sense for us to move it to Ridge Ferry Park next to ice skating. So Saturday, December 16th, our candy cane hunt for kids 10 and under. We scatter about 7,000 candy canes out there, and then they get to come pick them up. It's more of a candy cane pickup than a hunt, but we still call it a candy cane hunt. That's going to be at noon, start at noon, Saturday, December 16th, right next to the ice skating rink. From 2 to 4 that day, we will have our Playtime with Santa event. This is an event we've been doing. I think this is our 4th consecutive year of doing it. We even did it through COVID. We have 400 soccer balls, basketballs, and footballs to give out to kids 12 and under. The first 400 kids 12 and under, 1 ball per kid will get a ball. It's a free event. So you can come out. Santa's going to be there. Santa's also going to be a candy cane hunt. Santa will be there. Take photos with Santa. Get a free ball. Still got to pay to ice skate, but you can also do that and then go ice skate. Can't take the balls on the ice with you. Those got to go back in the car. But that's a great event there. And of course, and we got to shout out our sponsor, Coca-Cola. They are the ones that allow us to do those 2 events. Without them, we don't get to buy the candy canes or buy the balls. And they're a great sponsor. They're also one of the big ice skating sponsors this year. Coca-Cola, Courtesy Ford, and Chick-fil-A are our major ice skating sponsors. And we want to thank them for helping bring this to Rome. Another big event from another great sponsor, Atrium Health Floyd, December 31st
Fireworks.
at 7 p.m. Fireworks shot off from the top of Jackson Hill, courtesy of Atrium Health Floyd, and it's just a fun show. It's about a 15-minute show. Not doing anything special at the park. I mean, the ice skating will be happening, but they're probably going to have to come out of the ice skating venue to see the fireworks. But
if it's covered, you can't see it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of hard to look through, the cover there. I guess if they did a skylight, you could, but, they're not that fancy. But yes, fireworks, about a 15-minute show. It's shot off by Zambelli Fireworks, who does our July 4th display as well. And, of course, it's shot off from the top of Jackson Hill. So everybody asks me, where do I go to see the fireworks? I said, pretty much anywhere around downtown Rome.
Where I live in East Rome, we could see it great. And actually, I have to say, I think I saw it better in the last year on New Year's Eve than I did this past summer, because with all the leaves being off the trees.
There's something like leaves on trees on July 4th. And crazily enough, on December 31st, there aren't many leaves on the trees.
But it certainly makes for better viewing conditions.
It does. And of course, we will, weather permitting, if the weather is decent, we will have some Parks and Rec employees up on top of Clock Tower doing a live stream on Facebook again. Now, if it's obviously rainy or cold, I'm not about to put my guys up on top of Clock Tower. Sure. That's not going to happen. So you may just have to see it in person. But again, can't say enough about the sponsors that let us do these events. And these are great events. And of course, also with ice skating, we're going to have some other days with Santa. Typically, Santa's going to be there maybe Saturdays and Sundays before Christmas. Obviously, once Christmas is gone, we're not going to have Santa anymore. Santa's got to go have his vacation rest time after visiting, 8 billion people across the planet.
Yeah, it's a busy time.
I think one of the things that has been covered here today, which I think is really interesting, is generally speaking, when you think about the Recreation Authority, I think most people's first thought process is facilitating, organizing, sporting type events and things of that nature. Use sports. But man, y'all do so much in terms of doing things that help the community get out and be active and be around each other in the community and things like that, which I think is really interesting. The scope of what y'all do there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too, is we never want to lose sight of the fact that one of our big things is youth sports. Youth recreational sports. And of course, we have basketball, volleyball, baseball, t-ball, volleyball, football, cheerleading. I said basketball, I said volleyball. I think that's all of them. Already, and gymnastics as well, a great gymnastics program. But on top of that, we do 2 road races. We do 2 cook-offs. We do the July 4th event. We do the New Year's Eve fireworks. We facilitate the Rome-Floyd Sports Hall of Fame. We have a truck or treat event. We have Playtime with Santa. We have candy cane hunt. We have ice skating. We have all kinds of events. And that's a big thing about our community is, we have 27 parks and or facilities that we are in charge of. And that's our big thing about it, is we want to have fun things to do in Rome. We want you to be active. We want you to get out and be healthy and enjoy yourself. And, when we have 5,000 plus people show up for a chili cook-off, we're excited. When we have 3,500 plus people show up for Truck or Treat, we're also excited. And when we have 400 kids show up for Candy Cane, we're excited. It's one of those things that we want to get back. And one thing that I want to tell everybody, because we are the government. I understand that. But the money that goes to these events is straight sponsorship money. Not one penny of your tax dollars buys these balls that are going out to these kids or the candy canes or the chili cook-off stuff. It's all our sponsors. Without our sponsors, well, it would have to be the tax dollars. All the money that goes to fireworks, not tax dollars, sponsorship dollars. So, and everybody said, well, what do you do with that money if you make money? It's like, well, we actually do make some money. And you know what? We turn the money back into other events so that we can do events bigger and better, because it doesn't go to my salary. It doesn't go to other things like that. It goes back into these programs. So the tax dollars don't go to that, but these are things that we want to do for the community so that, we do even more fun events for the community, because, we all grew up, you grew up in Rome. You grew up in Rome. I grew up in Rome. And the thing you always hear growing up and even moving and coming back is there's nothing to do in Rome. Well, we are trying our darndest to prove everybody else wrong with that. Yeah. We got ice skating in Rome, and show me any surrounding county that has ice skating for 48 consecutive days.
People are probably coming in from the surrounding counties to enjoy ice skating.
Exactly. And it's not like a one-up thing.
Like
it's a case
in the day.
Oh, no, you're right. You were saying that before we went on air. It's like, you're right, Elizabeth. When I was growing up in Rome, when the two of y'all were growing up in Rome, we didn't have ice skating. We didn't have the Rome Braves or the Rome Emperors or whatever their name is this week. We didn't have those types of things. We wanted those types of things.
So this is a message for the youth out there. There are generations that have been working hard to make a better future for you to live in.
But also, you got a lot more now than you used to, and we want more. It's not okay, well, we've hit the limit. It's like, no. I think the sky is the limit in Rome. We are a very unique town. We're a unique community. We're a unique county. I chose to raise my kids here, and I was living in Southwest Florida, folks. It's really darn nice in Southwest Florida, but I still came home to Rome.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of reasons for that.
So we were talking about upcoming events,
Certainly.
such as your holiday festivities. And one of the things that you mentioned was the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And that banquet, that banquet's coming up in March.
Saturday, March 2nd at the Cranert Center at Berry College. I actually do know who the Hall of Fame inductees are. I just have not had a chance to contact all of them. So I cannot release it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally have the release ready to go. There's this ice skating thing going on that's kind of eating some time. So anyway, but no, we have some great stuff there. Several of the high schools have turned in their scholarship winners, so that's good. Still waiting on a few high schools to turn in their scholarship winners. I'm not going to name names or what they rhyme with, because I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I know everybody's busy, but if you're a high school that has not turned your stuff into me, please do that. And just for parents to know,
for the kids.
And just for parents to know, we don't select the scholarship winners. The schools select the scholarship winners, so they will do that. And I think I have 4 of the 7 schools already have their scholarship winners. And once I get all 14, because it's a boy and a girl from each of the schools, I will contact them as well. But yeah, Saturday, March 2nd, we'll have tickets for sale pretty soon for the banquet. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention Leprechaunathon Road Race, 5K run and health walk, sponsored by Atrium Health Floyd, Saturday, March 16th.
Yeah, I got my green on.
Oh,
so
yeah, exactly.
He's got green on.
Wait a second. Let's see here.
Oh my goodness!
Sure, look at that. Look at that.
And of course, our Emperor Steve over here has a Star Wars hat with green Yoda ears on it.
Yeah,
so he got the memo also.
So we're celebrating the holiday season. We're getting ready to celebrate Christmas, but we're also, with
here's the deal.
St. Patrick's Day in view.
And anyone who knows me knows I'm a runner. I'm much slower than I was back in the day. But I really, truly, I love every event we do, but, road races are near and dear to my heart. And this is a race that is for everybody. We have the giant wall of foam on the town green at the end.
Which, if you've never seen it, folks, that foam is something else, especially when you catch it at sunset. So
Yeah.
you've got the green of the foam and a colorful sunset. It's quite a nice combination.
It is, and we will actually, I already know the dates and everything, so we will be opening registration up for Leprechaun here within a couple of weeks before even Christmas so that people can go ahead and get registered. And since it's March 16th, that's a great New Year's resolution run. I'm telling you right now, because we're one of those first races. Now, I know Barry has their half marathon, 5K, and 10K. I believe it's on March 2nd, unless I'm not mistaken. That's a great race to run, too. But, hey, ours is cool, too. And we got foam.
Let me ask you this, Jim.
Certainly.
For people out there that are watching on YouTube or our Facebook Live, you mentioned the race. What would you tell people that have never participated in an event like that? Because I think one of the things that people think when they hear the word race,
A high barrier
is that-
to entry.
Yeah,
Yes.
that sort of thing. But there's, as far as all skill levels, that'll be represented in races like that. Anybody could participate in this. So what kind of
And
advice would you give?
Here's what I would say about that. If the idea of doing the 3.1 miles, no one's making you run it. You can walk the 3.1 miles. But if you hear 3.1 miles and you're like, oh my gosh, that's too much, we have a 2-mile health walk. And we usually have more people in the health walk than we do in the 5K race. And they have just as much fun as everybody else. We have the costume contest. We want you wearing all your glowy, bling stuff. I don't know if those are words. And just decked out. If you see me out there, I'm the race director. I'm going to have glow stuff on. I'm going to have green on, probably a weird hat, bowler hat that my wife got me last year that I wore. And she said, did you wear the hat? And I said, yes, I wore the hat. You got me. But we want you to come out and have fun. And this is what happens, Matt. And I'm so glad you asked that question is I can't say the number of people that do the walk and they find me afterwards and say, I'm going to do the run next year. I'm going to do the run next. And they do. And they have such a good time. And the whole thing is like 5K, hey, walk it. Run for 2 minutes, walk for 2 minutes.
Start where you are.
Exactly.
You could even speed walk.
Exactly. And we do. We have people that do it. And I'm not saying it's going to happen this year. But this is not usually a super competitive race. We have had people get age group awards. They probably walked, or it took them 55 minutes to run a 5K. So that's probably walking speed. And literally, I remember 2 years ago, actually, I think it happened last year too. I'm handing out a second place or third place award to somebody. And I think it was an older gentleman both times. It might have been the same guy both times. Actually, now I'm thinking that. And his kids are mocking him for getting an award because he walked the race. And I said, hey, it's just who shows up in your age group, and there are age group awards, not for the walk, but for the run.
Give him props for showing up.
Well, I mean, that's just it. He
Other
competed.
people,
He
Other people
competed
didn't.
against who was there. I mean, I know there was several years ago, I won a local 10K. Well, I saw the guys that were warming up before the race. Well, there was a 5K that day too. All the good runners went to run the 5K. I'm like, oh, okay. I had one guy to beat. I beat him. So it's like, hey, I beat who showed up to compete. But now if I reran that race today, would not win.
Shoot. I'm not going to run unless the bear's coming after me.
And which is funny because we all know I got chased by a grizzly bear back in Montana.
Oh, my God,
And
no, I
so
didn't know that.
I thought I figured somewhere in our many years of radio journeys that we had talked about that.
No,
But I guess
that's a new one.
that's a story for another day. I know when your dad, I was on your dad's show, I talked to him about my John McEnroe experience. I think I may have
about
told
that
you
one
that
time.
one too.
I've not heard
But
this.
Anyway, well, I'm going to have to come on another time. We'll just talk stories with Jim. Stories by the Yoda ears with Jim. But anyway, back to the other stuff is like, I think it was ice skating. Is like, hey, and it's the same thing with ice skating. You're scared of ice skating? Come out and just watch it for a little while. You don't have to go in there and do it. But, go and see, give it a try. There's wall all the way around you can hold on to. And let's be real honest, a lot of people, especially kids, you got death grip on that
Clinging
wall
to that
there
wall.
for a little while. But,
Well, it's not a sensation that people are used to unless
no,
you've
you're
done
not.
that.
Especially not here in the South.
Rollerblading is close, but again, it's not the same thing.
And especially here in the South.
No.
I venture to say up north, people are used to icy conditions.
Yeah.
They're used to ice skating.
Yeah.
Kids in the South weren't raised ice skating.
And you bring up a great point, and this is something that, and you were laughing about it before we came on the air, is that, I had to make a post last week and said, hey guys, ice is cold.
Yes.
There were people showing up in shorts and t-shirts to ice skate and freezing their rear ends off. So,
Ice is cold. You heard it here first.
Ice, and it's also hard. Ice is cold, it's hard, and one last thing, guys, it's real slippery.
Yeah.
And literally, the guys at Atlanta Event Special said, please, will you put that out there? we know it sounds kind of strange to be telling people this, but they don't understand. I mean, it's not that they don't understand until you get out there and whoop. I mean, your feet will go out from underneath you. And so it's, dress warm. You probably want to have mittens on, because if you do hit the ice, and I'm going to be honest, 99% of people are going to fall. Even your good ice skaters, going to fall. So it's a lot nicer to have your hands in mittens touching ice than bare flesh touching ice. That's a little chilly.
I'm laughing because I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family that was into ice hockey.
Yeah.
So my dad had a pair of ice skates and kind of got me into it a little bit. And he'd take me down to Atlanta. I'd go ice skating with him. So I got a pair of ice skates. So there was actually one time where I was skating up and down our street in Lindale because we had an ice storm.
Yeah.
And the street was covered with about 2 inches of ice. And I got my ice skates out, and it had to just floor people's mind to look out and see somebody
See
ice
some
skating.
kid
up
ice
side
skating
down
down
the
the
street in
remember
Lindale.
that.
I remember it's been many years ago. I was in high school. We had one of those real good snowstorms, which when I was in high school, it seemed like we had one almost every year. Or growing up, we had one almost every year. Now my senior year, 91, we did not, but But I remember there was a youth pastor over at First Presbyterian Church who was from up north. And I remember the Rome News Tribune ran a photo of him on the front page the next day after that big ice storm. He was cross-country skiing down Broad Street,
That's
which
awesome.
is something you don't see very. And that tells you the power of that photo. That I was probably 6th, 7th grade when that happened. So I'm 51 now. It's been a hot minute since then.
That's so
but I
awesome.
still remember that photo to this day.
Well, if anybody would have asked me when I was a young person if there'd ever be ice skating in Ridge Ferry Park in Rome, Georgia, I would have said no. So I tip my cap to y'all. That's awesome. I would have loved it when I was young. I love it now.
Yeah.
But it's what a great opportunity this
Well,
is.
and one of the things too, and I will kind of rat out myself a little bit last year. I did have some people approach me last year, and I don't want to knock anybody who does this, but it was the artificial ice. And I was like, we've already had the real ice from the Forum, and I'm not knocking what they're doing. I'm like, I'm not sure that's good for us. Like, if we're going to do it, let's do real ice. And that's exactly what we did.
Real cold.
And I'm not saying the other one's not good, but it's like, to me, it's not the same thing. And it's still great, don't get me wrong, but I wanted the real ice, and that's what we got.
Jim's the man who makes things happen. So we are rapidly running out of time, man. It's been great having this conversation with you today.
No, it's been great being here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, happy to do it. And of course, this is the latest episode of Community Spotlight here on the WLAQ Rome Facebook page and the WLAQ Radio YouTube channel. Our guest has been Jim Alred, Recreation Services Manager for Rome-Floyd Parks and Recreation. Jim, we got about a minute or two. Any parting thoughts you'd like to share?
Just, number one, ice skating, and more ice skating. Come on out. We're still going for several weeks. If you need to know the times and dates, rfpra.com/ice skating. Or just go to the website, rfpra.com. There's a button that says ice skating details. Click on that. It'll take you there. And, of course, on our social media, we're going to have the hours each week. And, of course, we're going to take some photos of everybody out there ice skating. Post some social media, have some fun doing that. And come out, see what it's about. And even if you don't do that, come out for candy cane hunt and playtime on Saturday, December 16th.
Awesome. Any parting questions, Matt?
No, I'll just make a comment. We're going to put a comment in here with Jim Allred's cell phone number, and that way he said you can call him any hour of the night. Ask him what the hours are. Just kidding.
And by doing that, you can call Matt, and then he can look it up on the website for you.
He puts his phone on don't disturb. So good luck getting a hold of him.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out
thank you for
with us.
having me. This has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. That puts a wrap on the week's edition of Community Spotlight. I'm Elizabeth Davis. Matt Davis, my brother, the co-host today, and again, our guest, Jim Alred with Rome-Floyd Parks and Recreation. Make sure you go take a spin around the ice at the rink at Ridge Ferry.
This has been the WLAQ Community Spotlight. We thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the WLAQ Radio YouTube channel and follow WLAQ Rome on Facebook.